I've been learning a lot of unexpected lessons during the course of this make along. This lesson really caught me off guard. Am I doing a bad thing by trying to be an influencer? This is a daily struggle for me. You need a break sometimes. Giving myself grace to acknowledge my own humanity is a daily struggle. Someone's cutting onions in here. I'm not gonna cry on this. Let's just chat in the comments. What do I usually say? What do I usually say to this? Why do I feel like it's been so long and I did not unplug the fridge? Why am I nervous? I feel like I haven't done this in so long. Okay, and there's always one lock that just wants to just party just on its own, you know? Just cooperate, please. Hey, my name is Akia, and I am the humble hottie behind Dr. Charlie Untangled. I am a maker, a knit and crochet wear designer, a craftivist, and what else? What else am I? And a biomedical engineering PhD from the South Side of Chicago. Welcome back. So it's about mid-February now, and it'll be mid to late February when you see this, and we're about halfway through the Black History Month Craftivism make-along. Yes, if you don't know, now you know. We're about halfway through the make-along, and when I set out to do this, I told myself I wasn't gonna try to do too much YouTube content around the make-along, because trying to organize events both in person and already on Instagram Live, I'm like, I don't need a third platform to try to manage during this make along. It's a lot of work. But a lot has been happening for me recently, personally, and I've been learning a lot of unexpected lessons during the course of this make along. So I figured I'd share that with you good folks and just, I don't know, start a conversation. This will be a little bit more of a vulnerable talk for me, and these are absolutely lessons I am actively still learning. So this is not meant to be oh, let me tell you how to live your life, but I just want to share some of the things that I'm learning during this make along. But before I get into that, if you are not yet participating in the Black History Month Craftivism make along, it's not too late. It's running through March 16th, where we will have our final day at Miss Pearl, where we'll show our final FOs and whips, and do a little showcase and give away a really big, really well curated prize full of all kinds of things from Black businesses all over. So if you want to participate, head to my website, drcharlieuntangled.com, and click on the Black History Month Craftivism tab to sign up. Don't miss that mailing list, okay? Things be happening on the mailing list. Check out that resource page to find tons of pattern inspiration for Black indie dyers or local yarn shops or other fiber related businesses that you can support during the make along. Many thanks to everyone who got this make along started with a bang. Thank you so much, Hillary, for hosting our kickoff at Nina Chicago. We got to chat with local dyers Naima Bon and Creo, and that was super cool. And then we also got to chat with Chin of Chin 2 Together about his design inspiration. So check him out if you haven't. And then we even had our first FO at the kickoff. Ain't this cute? Then we got to check in with Fatima about all things craftivism, and that was such a great conversation. And at our midway check-in at Miss Pearl, my mom and I chatted with Tony Lipsy about our favorite Black businesses to support. It was so good. We had an amazing little show and tell after that. So thanks so much, Miss Pearl, for hosting us, and I'm looking forward to our last few events. Anyway, and if you like this kind of content where we just get to chat about some things and talk about some yarn, definitely subscribe, okay? I have big things planned for 2024. Y'all just saw the Vogue Knitting Live recap from January of this month, which was an incredible time. It was a whole lot to do, but it was an incredible time. So if you haven't seen that, check it out, and there's plenty more to come. I'm so excited to share this making journey with you guys. So yay, subscribe. Also, in the spirit of the make along, I want to share what I'm working on with you guys. And this is my Della Q hat box, and she has been holding all of my most of my projects for the make along, because of course I have more than one. But also get into the hat box. Oh, ain't she a beaut? Yes. Okay, so inside is the first main project that I'm working on, which is the year-round popover. Nope. No. The year-round popover sweater by Melissa of Homebody Fibers. And she was kind enough to make this a free pattern during the duration of the make along. So again, sign up for that mailing list so you can get the code to get a free pattern from Melissa from Homebody Fibers. So I've kind of just started. I haven't made a ton of progress, but we're getting there. And I'm excited because I think this will be a beautiful piece. So this yarn is Naima Bond yarn, who is a local Black indie dyer, and she dyed a ton of beautiful colors. This one is called Foxy. This one is called Foxy, which is, very apropos. This one is called Foxy. It's a brown with some really cute little pink speckles in it. So I'm really enjoying this. The other project I'm working on, this is only a piece of it because I have done the other pieces already. But I'm also simultaneously participating in Tony of TL Yarn Crafts Make It Cal, which kind of ends, I think, today. So it's over. Hopefully this project is done too by the time you see this, but we'll see. But this is a sleeve for her Camaro crop top in her yarn Happy Place. And I have been having such a blast making this. This yarn is soft and gorgeous and beautiful, and will make a really fun like spring to summer piece for me. So very excited. It's just a sleeve, but that shows you how aggressive I have been crocheting on this. Okay, and last but not least, so you guys, after my mood haul video, really wanted to see some of these pieces in action. Well, here's an opportunity. This is the Lexi Mini, and she has been holding another Tony of TL Yarn Crafts pattern with Naima Bond art yarn. So this is the, let me get it together now. This is the Silent Mode scarf, and it's coming along. I still got some increases to do before it's able to be like wrapped around, but she's coming along. So yes, I'm moving and grooving. But unfortunately, and the reality is that life be lifing directly in the middle of a make-along. It doesn't decide, oh, hey girl, you're in a make-along. Let me just chill out for a while. Let me not give you all the things that I usually give you to like stress you out and teach you lessons or whatever. Like it's like, oh, that make-along is cute, but things are still happening. So work, my 9 to 5 has been doing a lot for me, so I haven't had a ton of time to make, but I'm making progress and I'm proud of myself for that. And I feel like you should be too. Whatever progress you're making on your projects, you should be proud. Okay, now let's talk about these lessons. So I have broken these down into 2 very loose categories, specifically about work, the work that you do, whether it's your 9 to 5 or your passion work, all of that is still work. So work lessons and personal lessons. And like I said, all of these, I am still in the thick of it in terms of learning these lessons and really fully adapting them, implementing those lessons into my life. So pray for me, y'all. I'm also gonna be looking at my notes so I don't forget anything. So let's start with work. The first lesson that I'm learning is that even things that you love can be difficult and bring pain. And this can refer to a number of different things. So again, like I said, work, your 9 to 5 work, loving what you do in your job, or if you have a passion project or a yarn business like I have, even things you love can bring you pain and be difficult. I have so enjoyed this YouTube journey. Currently, actually this month, what I have not shared is that I actually finally got monetized on YouTube. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to you guys for watching my videos and just giving me all of the support in the world. It has meant so much to keep me going as a newer person in this space. Wasn't really sure what to expect, but you guys have been amazing and incredible and giving me lots to think about and lots of feedback, a lot of interaction. So I feel like you're here with me, and so it's just, I am flabbergasted. So thank you guys so much for getting me to this point, and I hope we can continue to grow together. That being said, the real tea is that it is hard to consistently make YouTube videos and work a 9 to 5 where it's actually quite busy for me. It's a very busy season of work for me. And so even though I love YouTube and I love content creation and I love the social media aspect of it, I love the social media marketing of it all, like I love it, but it is very difficult to do. And it has challenged me and has caused me to sacrifice a lot in terms of sleep and priority in my personal life and all kinds of things. You know, now I wouldn't trade those things, but just being very aware of, you know, what that cost is, what that personal cost is, and how to navigate that to like make sure that my life does not completely spiral. That is a personal exercise that I'm still discovering, you know, and a lot of that is going to be one of the things that I talk about in the personal side, which is like leaning on your community. So we'll get to that in a bit, but the idea that even things that you love can bring pain. I know there's a lot of people who like want to get into something or want to get a secondary or tertiary stream of income or want to do a new project or want to start a new hobby. You know, just being very aware that like investing in the things that you love still will be difficult and can bring pain, literal pain. Like I just ordered a wrist and thumb support for my hands because of just the sheer amount of like clicking clicking and then knitting and then clicking some more, YouTube editing, and then crocheting. Like a lot of stuff is happening on my wrist. There's a lot of I'm feeling the brunt of all the work that I'm doing in my hands and wrists, and so I have to protect those. So I just bought some support for that, so hopefully that helps. But just even doing that, recognizing the changes and adjustments that you need to make to accommodate the new things that are happening in your life, you know, and not all new things in your life are bad. Even the good things still take time to adjust to and take some changes to your routine and changes to your way of thinking. So just, I don't know, I feel like that was a lot of rambling, but I just want to encourage you that like, if you're doing something new and you find that it is hard, it's okay. It's supposed to be. You're stretching yourself and you're doing something new and you're discovering something new about yourself, and it will hurt a little. It will hurt, but you can adjust. We are adaptable creatures and you can do it. I believe in you. Okay, second thing. Along those lines, the second lesson I'm learning is that discomfort is key, okay? And I'm a person that I feel like many people probably can relate to this. I'm a person that I don't love a ton of change, you know, not all at once. Like a little bit of change, incremental change here and there. I don't love a ton of change at once, especially because it, like I said, it's difficult, it's painful. It requires you to readjust your whole life a lot of times. But in order to really grow, in order to learn, in order to be different than the person that you were yesterday, discomfort is key. It's important to be uncomfortable, to put yourself in positions where, oh, I don't know what to do here, or I have to learn this thing. This is a skill I don't have. I need to Google this. I need to ask somebody. You know, I'm putting myself out there. This is highly visible. Like this YouTube channel, I'm in this room by myself, but this is highly visible than, you know, I don't know, than my social media has previously been. So like, what does that mean for me? And am I ready for that? And not letting that discomfort paralyze you or me. That's really me, not letting the discomfort paralyze me and not using that as an excuse to not do something. It's because it's going to be difficult, or it's going to be uncomfortable, or it's going to require something different from myself that I didn't know that I had. Give yourself the opportunity to surprise yourself, which is, you know, relevant for a number of things, like working out or baking or making content on the internet. All of this stuff requires you to be a little bit uncomfortable, you know, asking for a promotion, looking for a new job. And any of those things require you to be a little bit uncomfortable and to learn something new and to shift and do something different. So allow yourself the permission to put yourself in a space to be uncomfortable. That's really what I'm really trying to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Which is hard, okay? It's hard. Don't love that. But if you also are a person that struggles with that, just know you are not alone, okay? I'm right there with you. The third thing that I'm learning is that the work that you are doing the effort that you are putting in, the way that you treat people, the way that you prioritize yourself and your work and really put time and effort into being high quality and, I don't know, a person of virtue, or however you want to express that. The work that you're doing is not going unseen. You matter, and the work that you do matters, whether that's your 9 to 5 and the role that you play as a cog in the corporate wheel, that work is not in vain. Neither is the work that you put into the project that you're working on, or you're making content and whatever, or you have an Etsy store or whatever. I feel like all these examples are slightly immediately relevant to me or people in my circle, but it can apply to whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're working on. Know that work is important. The lessons that you are learning daily, the work ethic that you're putting in is seen by other people. Other people appreciate that, and it's not just going to the void. Someone sees you. Someone sees the energy and the effort that you are putting in to the work that you do. So just some encouragement to persevere. Mostly trying to encourage myself to do that too. So yeah, your work is not in vain. I see you. All the people in the make along that are doing all the things, I see you. All the folks that are growing their businesses and launching websites and all kinds of stuff in the fiber arts community, I see you. I feel like we really have to support one another, and it's one of my favorite things to do is to just aggressively support other people in this fiber space. So know that I see you and that others see you too, and your work is important. Okay, now we're gonna move into some personal lessons that I am learning actively, still currently learning. This lesson really caught me off guard because I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this, and it kind of made me feel a way about myself. And that lesson is that enough is different for other people. I have been seeing a lot of de-influencing videos and content that goes directly in the face of something like a make-along that's encouraging people to intentionally spend their money. And I have had to reconcile that with myself of am I doing a bad thing by trying to be an influencer and telling people that they don't need, that they need something that they don't need. But I don't love the idea of necessarily de-influencing in the fiber art space, which I guess could apply to other spaces as well, but particularly for this space, because it's so unique, I think it's important not to overgeneralize about these are the things that you need and that you don't need to be a knitter. People may not use needle stoppers, but some people really need them. Their cat Mittens really enjoys what is it called, kneading dough directly into your project, so you need needle stoppers. But I, living alone, mostly having my projects in bags, no, I don't need needle stoppers. So it's just an example. Everybody's experience and making needs are so different that it feels kind of unfair to say, oh, I'm just going to de-influence you for all the things that you don't need to be a knitter or a crocheter, because it can vary widely. I am not a proponent, and what is that word? I'm not a proponent, of, I don't know, buying things willy-nilly with money you don't have for things you don't need. Absolutely not. But I do like the idea of trying something new, trying a different tool, seeing if this works for you. But being informed, talking to other people, what was your experience with this? Do you like this? Do you need this? Before I go spend dollars on things. I say all that to say that there is a way to be frugal and on budget and still enjoy a fiber arts craft or hobby that does require quite a bit of financial investment. And there are ways to appease different budgets, thrifting yarn and using other people's de-stash, or going to the library and getting materials and stuff like that. Or if you're just this is where I want to spend my hard-earned dollars, and it's going to be on, this Clinton Hill cashmere yarn, send me 20 skeins of this, fine. And I'm not going to make you feel bad about that, and neither should anybody else. I hope that wasn't too general, but the idea with this lesson that I'm learning, particularly in the context of this make-along, is the intention is key. The point of this make-along is to support Black-owned businesses with your actual dollars, to make a statement and to get the ball of justice rolling in the fiber art space. It's not to frivolously have people just buying things. So, and no one has accused me of that. That really is just like the evil girl in my head. Sometimes she asks me questions that I really have to think real hard about, and that was one of them. But in general, I think we need to be careful about the idea of trying to de-influence in the fiber art space and what impact that can have on where people stand individually in their fiber journey. So just something to think about, something to mull over. Okay, and this next lesson, I really struggle with this daily. This is a daily struggle for me every day, okay? And that lesson is giving myself grace. As y'all can see, for example, that Vogue video was a full week late, if not some extra. Just because I had filmed and edited a YouTube video, two videos actually, in order to give myself the space to then go to Vogue. So I worked that entire weekend and then came back, and then my 9 to 5 blew up in terms of like things happening there. And then I called myself trying to like compile and edit clips from 3 full days of content creation. And also in the middle of the kickoff of the Black History Month Craftivism Make-Along, it was just a whole lot. And I kicked myself so hard for not sticking to my schedule and to not getting the video out on time. I really want to be consistent. I know that has been the main thing that has made a difference in my social media, and part of the reason why I have been able to grow so quickly on YouTube and monetize, you know, amen. A lot of that has been consistency and posting no matter what, but that is not always the reality of life. Life directly in your face, regardless of what you had going on and what plans you thought you had, okay? So giving myself grace, giving myself permission to acknowledge my own humanity is a daily struggle for myself. And I feel like so many of us, particularly women, particularly women of color, particularly Black women, we expect so much of ourselves, and society expects so much of us, that sometimes it is difficult to just acknowledge that you need a break sometimes, and you cannot outlife life, okay? Life will win every time. Either you pause or life will pause you. And it's a lesson that I am remembering from grad school, where this level of irony, I was writing my dissertation about shoulder injuries while I had given myself a shoulder injury and couldn't type about the shoulder injuries. It was just the most cyclical, meta ridiculousness ever in life. And I literally had to just pause. I literally just had to let my shoulder rest and heal, because it was tingling. I couldn't feel my arm, couldn't lift it, couldn't do anything. And I'm like, what are the odds of me writing a dissertation about shoulder injuries with a shoulder injury, unable to write my dissertation about shoulder injuries? But it's just a reminder of a lesson that apparently I needed to learn twice, that you have to give yourself grace. Kind of along those same lines, this next lesson I have called Do What You Can Do. You know, we just talked about how rest is key. And part of this make-along is about the radical act of rest, you know, and in all the busyness of all the things, I am, even in my own self, forgetting to practice what I preach about rest being a necessary part of this thing called life, a necessary part of resistance, a necessary part of me growing as a person. Rest is important. You know, you can only do what you can do. Like I said, give yourself grace. You can only do what you can do. And, you know, be honest about that. Be authentic about that, especially in the content creation space. That's the best you can do. And if you got to say no to some stuff, you got to say no to some stuff to prioritize yourself. Now, me as a like single female with no kids, no spouse, you know, none of those particular obligations, I feel like it's easy for me to say, but I think it's even more true for people who do not share middle class financial status with me and do not have the same, you know, daily freedoms with their time and, you know, energy and, I don't know, dollars and mental space, you know, all of those things. It's even more important for folks without it. And it's one of the things that I want for, you know, the women that I know, the people that I know, especially Black people, to give themselves permission to rest. It's so key. So yeah, do what you can do and leave the rest. It'll be there tomorrow. This last lesson is probably the most special lesson of all that I'm learning. And this one is the importance of community. And not just because I feel like we talk about that a lot. And, you know, online, we're like, oh, fiber community online. But truly, deeply diving into your community and allowing your community to hold you up. That is so difficult for me. Even someone who, like I said, I aggressively support other people. I proclaim different businesses from the rooftop because my goal is to, you know, shout people out and very intentionally support Black-owned businesses, woman-owned businesses, minority businesses, all the folks who need that amplification. Whatever little platform I have, I'm going to use that to amplify those who otherwise don't get the same level of opportunity. But the lesson for me is like allowing my community to do the same for me. That has been such someone's cutting onions in here. I'm not going to cry on this, but that has been such a difficult lesson for me because I'm the kind of person who has just had to, you know, get it out the mud, you know, for most of my life and basically do it myself. You know, I don't have a huge safety net if things go wrong, but this make along even, you know, I've had to ask a lot of people for help. I've had to ask a lot of people to donate their time and their time and their skills and their talents and their products. And that has been extremely difficult for me because I'm like, who are me to ask you, like super cool, talented maker, to include me in any of the things that you got going on, you know? So allowing myself to lean into my community and letting people support me has been a huge point of growth for me. And it's a huge important part of your health, you know, like letting people help you and letting others hold you accountable is how you continue to progress as a person. We are communal people. We are a communal species. We cannot do it all alone. Nobody can do it all alone. So this is me encouraging you to ask for help, ask for support, ask to bounce some ideas off of someone. Hire somebody to clean the house. I'm gonna just put that one right there because I know that hit somebody directly in the chest. Yeah, allow yourself to ask others for help. It's not a sign of weakness. Community brings strength, not weakness. And as much as I feel like, yeah, we know it, like we all watch Sesame Street and have like talked about like, working together, this is fun. But then we have also all been in that group project with people where it's like, girl, why are we even here doing this together? Like, I basically did all the work. Like, what? You just coasting, you know? But not letting those experiences necessarily color how you move through life, because then you just end up doing way too much, putting way too much on yourself. And it's literally not good for your health. I have been dealing with a lot of stress, managing my anxiety, and I swear, somebody's cutting onions in here. This is the problem with talking about issues that you are currently still struggling with, is that they all come up to the top. But anyway, managing stress, managing your anxiety by physically removing things that are in your way and that prevent you from finding some peace, finding some moments of relaxation, finding some moments to exhale, making myself get out of the house and go to bar even when I'm super busy, or to take some time to cook when I don't feel like I have time and I don't like to cook and blah blah blah. Just giving myself the things that I know that I need, you know. It's so important. So this is my reminder to you that stress is a literal killer. Okay, we got to get serious about managing that, and fiber arts is a way to do it. Leaning into our fiber arts community is a way to do it. So this is me encouraging you to do that, and encouraging me to do that too. Okay, well, now that we've all shed tears together, I guess I gotta get back to work. Because it don't stop. But this was cathartic, and I really do want to hear like what you guys have to say about any of these lessons, or how you have learned any of these, or what tips you can provide for me and others. Yeah, I would just love to hear what y'all have to say about these. So like I said, if this is content that you enjoy or think is useful, or you know, is pouring into your life in any way, I know it's not a ton of like yarny stuff today, but if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. Yeah, I don't know what video is coming next, if I'm honest. I'm not looking at my list, and my brain has a finite capacity of space. But I'll be back. We're gonna chat again, you know. I feel like Mr. Rogers right now. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today and through this whole journey of mine. And I am excited to see where this all goes, and let me know what things you want me to talk about, all the things. So let's just chat in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.